What you're seeing here are gourds. The botanical name is Lagenaria ciceraria, but they're the hard-shell gourds. And these are all the same kind of gourds. There's lots of varieties you can see here, but they're all the same kind of gourds. They're like people. There's no two alike. They differ in shape and size. They're thought to have originated in Africa, where probably all life began. And then they have a propensity to float. When they're dry, they're very buoyant. And they surmise that perhaps they floated on ocean currents and they wound up in all the temperate and tropical zones of the world. So there's gourd-using cultures all over the planet. You can think of them as the world's first Tupperware. And anything you need a container for, you can use a gourd. They hold fluids as well. A lot of cultures use them to store wine and beer and water. They have kind of an insulating property too, so they'll keep things cool or they'll keep things warm. That's why we use them for birdhouses. You can use them for food preparation. You can store food in them. There's just really nothing you can't do with them. Well, my folks, when I was a child, grew them in Arizona, and so they've always been kind of knocking on my door. And then about 20 years ago, I grew them again, and everything went black, and now it's 20 years later, and here I am. But it's been an evolutionary process. When I was doing this, nobody really was doing anything with them in this part of the world, and so I'm kind of self-taught. So it was painful and slow, but I was obsessed. They're more than a canvas to me. I love the fact that they bind us together as humanity because so many cultures use them. And they're useful, they're organic, they're from the female part of the universe in most mythology and creation myth, and I find that appealing as well. Gourd-using cultures do consider them heirlooms, and they pass favorite gourds down through the generations, and that's how I feel about them.
And of course, Native Americans have a gourd dance.
Oh, sure, they absolutely do. And there's a long and storied history behind that as well. And that's another thing that's appealing to me, is it's used in cultural ceremonies the world over. And I find that appealing as well. You know, it changes all the time because you're only limited by imagination. My partner in creation, which is the gourd, always speaks to me. There's always something new you can do with them. They are so flexible. They're very patient too, because they essentially last forever in human scale, the ones that you keep indoors. So when I'm ready for one, it's usually ready for me, and it just works out well. It's a collaboration.
Okay.
I do. I love to grow them, but I am very particular, and so if I find something exceptional in the world, then I must have it. So I buy them as well. But if the art is going to be forever, and that's how I feel about them, then I want them to be fabulous. And so I'm kind of a gourd snob, and so I only use the best ones in my work that I can grow and find. But I have never met a gourd I didn't love.